Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Friday morning trading session. Hang on while I get the screen share up and running. All right, I don't know how many of you held on through yesterday's trading, but it was a very odd day indeed. Here we'll take a look at the Eagle. This was most of the session right here. And then going into the close, we saw a huge rally. The market rallied all the way up to 5,600 going into the close. Oops. A little bit of a mixed bag of signals here this morning. First micro macro cross producing. Oh, we got our first Eagle signal. And if we want to wait for the ATR to come into sync, you could buy above the high of this current bar. Once this bar closes, it will flip the ATR over and put everything in sync. It is still very, very early, though. It's only a couple minutes into the session. But that first Eagle signal has been performing pretty well. It requires nerves of steel, because like I said, a lot of times that signal is printing just right out of the gate. That always makes me nervous. I'm also watching, as usual, I've got crude oil up, and watching the E-mini, or pardon me, the Euro, the 6E. This might be a test of the extreme here on the Raptor, in which case, if this fails, we could be looking at a short signal. All right, it looks like they are trying to go hunting for some support. Maybe, kinda, sorta. I'm going to cancel the Eagle signal now.
Order canceled.
All right, so we do have a red bar buy signal there. We do have a counter trend signal here in the Raptor. We do have an opportunity for a second push entry as well. Now, the second push entry, all that means is we allowed the signal to engage, and then we saw the limit of the order, or of the, in this case, the buyers. We saw them press the market up, and then that kind of gave us a clue where the buying was occurring. Essentially, you let the market flinch. I didn't think I'd be a seller this morning, but the signal is what the signal is. We're into the hard edge, getting a little bit of a bounce there. Okay, so we've hit the break-even trigger, and now we're, come on, get down there. Good. We've hit our first profit target. Hooray. Have the luxury of multiple contracts for this particular trade. So I've enabled the parabolic mode, which is a pretty good strategy for trying to run out a market. Parabolics tend to give the market a little bit more room at the beginning of the trade, and then they get tighter as the trade starts to lose momentum. I may hold my stops here just for a moment. As we try to ride out this swing. Floyd's watching the mid cap, that's the EMD. He says that's moving pretty good. For those of you looking at other markets. Oh, come on now. No! Ah, you stinkers. I thought I was going to be able to ride out that swing. Oh well. So just making a couple notes in my journal about how the trade played out. And this is where you would make a note if you think there's anything you could have done better. And sometimes you actually have to wait a few minutes. You know, you might discover something about your trade 15, 20 minutes later. What I mean to say is, you know, in 10 minutes time, it may show that, oh, maybe I was too quick with the auto break even, or perhaps I should have just taken all my profit, all in, all out. Okay, we're getting a little bit of seesaw trading going on here. Again, the hawk producing a lot of yellow bar clusters. Look at that. And they're printing more or less around this 55.90 area. Falcon gives you a pretty good view of it as well if you look at the trend line here. Very, very sideways, looking a lot like waves on an ocean. So the market quite content to retrace its steps yet again. The whole week has been like this. In fact, if it wasn't for the monster rally going into the close, we probably would have opened with a gap this morning again. All right, we had a, sorry folks, I missed the green bar sell here in the hawk. I've been watching the Falcon. I know there's a few more Falcon Raptor. I know there's a few more Raptor traders in the room, so I've been focusing on that a little bit more. Waiting for the trend change signal, the cloud crossover. Hmm. The Falcon trying to do a trend change signal here. Wow, what an odd market. Are we waiting on a report today? There must be a report or something due, because this market is just stuck. It's like it's stuck in the mud. We got, thanks, Aspen. Aspen says, no reports, just lots of uncertainty. We've got a red bar buy signal here in the Eagle. And you could wait, I would suggest waiting for it to flip the ATR. In other words, you would use this current bar as your signal bar. Dear, now we're coming through with a couple of possibilities here on the Raptor and the Falcon. The Falcon perhaps working a trend change signal, and here on the Raptor, this may turn into a number 3 signal, a hard edge bounce, so we're getting all kinds of stuff going on. It's been a tough week. I would like to put a good finish on the week going into the weekend. We're actually supposed to get some very pleasant weather this weekend. The old joke in these parts is, what do you call it after 2 days of rain on Vancouver Island? Monday. All right, here we go. Or not. All right, folks, this is kind of an early cloud crossover signal that just occurred right here. You could have shorted off of this zone. Sideways market though, right? Whenever you got a market that's moving sideways like this, you should be thinking about taking profit targets early. As painful as it is, you should be thinking about wider stops to try to ride out some of this sideways trading that's going on. Yeah, thanks everyone. I'm getting a few posts here about the reports that were released pre-market. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Mark says the revised inflation expectations due at the top of the hour. It's probably not going to be something that the market is holding its breath for, however. All right, so this now is a hard edge bounce. It's a sloppy hard edge bounce, which is why you're not getting your pre-signal. Oh, shoot, I don't want to go in with 3 contracts here. The way the market is behaving right now, I'll take a single. I'll put a flyer on it. Oh, no, I won't, because now it's going the other way. And now it's coming back. All right, we'll do it your way. Maybe I'll enter above the median line. Remember, your hash marks are only a suggested entry. You know, if you want to enter on the other side of a support or resistance line, if you want to enter on the other side even of the last swing. It's okay to do that. Let's see, what else have we got going on here? It's a bit of a mess there. Possible very sloppy trend change late filter entry signal going on here in the Falcon. Okay, the Falcon and the Raptor are both going to produce similar signals. I'll look at shorting the Falcon signal here. You're going to get a similar signal going on in the Raptor, so not to panic. And I may short it below there. All right, so we've got a couple of things going on here. And do I have time to change this? Ay, this is just a crazy market here this morning. All right, so there's your Falcon signal. You're going to have, again, kind of a sloppy looking, oh, no, it hasn't printed yet. I was going to say a sloppy looking trend change signal, your number one, your cloud crossover. But we're retreating from that, so I'll cancel that. The Eagle producing, oh, see, there it is. There's your number one signal now on the Raptor. The Eagle producing a rule of three, so for better for worse. I'm a seller here this morning again. Okay, so hit the auto break even and our first profit target. Hooray for us. And once again, I'm going to look at using the parabolics as we test the primary support zone. After a week-long rally, makes you wonder whether we're looking at some profit taking going on here. And that is perhaps what is spurring the market a little bit lower. if we manage to ride out this swing, 55.66 quarter, that would be a substantial move. That would bring us right back into the thick of yesterday's trading. That's kind of where we spent most of the day, 55.65, 66. Not surprised that I'm seeing a support line printing there. If we do trickle down there, I will get much more aggressive with my stops. In fact, why don't I just go ahead and place a profit order there?
Order pending.
And I might not even be that ambitious. There we go, 55.68. That would be a huge move. Well, huge. Given what we've seen this week, that would be a huge move. It's hardly a huge move as far as the NASDAQ goes. 20 points. The support seems to be holding at the moment. So this 55, 78 half, 79 area, a little bit of a hurdle for us. Hey, way to go, Mark. Mark says he took the late filter entry signal on the Falcon, picked up $100. Nicely done. Good job. Well, good morning, Kirk. Yeah, and welcome. Kirk says, I'm new here. Welcome to the trading room. Please feel free to ask questions or request markets even if you like. As you can see, we're currently in a Falcon trade, but we had a similar opportunity here in the Raptor. Now you can see the Raptor is actually flashing, giving us the pre-signal for the proper cloud crossover signal, even though once you know the fundamental parts of the cloud crossover, you saw that we actually had an earlier opportunity to enter here or here. Now, the cloud crossover signal has 2 points. Obviously, the clouds need to cross over. This first one was very, very sloppy. The second one was a little bit better. By this time, the majority of the clouds had already crossed except for the hard edges. What you want to see with a cloud crossover is you want to see those clouds cross, you want to see the market move into the clouds, and then you want to see the clouds push the market back out. That's your cloud crossover signal. The signal that's producing right now is more complete because the hard edges are closer to crossing, or I suppose technically have crossed. As far as the programming is concerned, there must have been a few seconds in there where they actually crossed over. bit of a pullback here now with my Falcon trade. I guess I'll let the parabolics hold it there. I was going to take it back to break even, but we'll hold it here. They're just kind of knocking at the door here. I'm holding my breath. Sometimes that helps. Well, we're holding the line, but just barely. We just need a little bit more momentum here. Come on down. They're thinking about it. Here we go. Come on. You can do it. So, where was yesterday? Before we had the breakout, oh yeah, see what's going on here is the top end of yesterday's trading range was around the 53.74 area. And that's a little bit in the neighborhood of where we're printing now. So we're getting a few buyers thinking, hey, this might be a great place to buy from. All right, parabolics, do your thing. There we go. So capture a little bit of extra profit. Obviously, if we get a breakdown here, I may move into a more aggressive stop strategy, maybe something like the bar high low. I'm doing my level best to try to ride out this swing, but these lows proving to be a little bit sticky right now. Douglas has a question about the Raptor. What are your Raptor NASDAQ settings for the brick size and cloud? Pretty much the defaults, Douglas. The 8-tick brick and just the standard Raptor settings. The only thing I have changed is the soft edge sell signal. So if you go down into your signal parameters, SE, that stands for soft edge, yours might read 1.01. I've dialed mine up to 1.25. A higher value here makes the soft edge signal less sensitive. In other words, you will produce more signals. I found that with the default 1.01, at least as far as the NASDAQ was concerned, it was filtering out some signals that I would have taken. So the 1.25 seems to be working pretty well for catching the majority of the signals. But that's the only change I've made. Cloud sizes are the defaults, brick size also the default. So our rule of 3 signal here on the Eagle, this is one of the few mornings where the first in-sync signal not giving us any follow-through. The signal produced right here and was very short-lived. Normally, that first in-sync signal tends to at least get to the first profit objective and very often at least gives you an opportunity to roll the stops to a break-even type situation. But we had a rule of 3, 1, 2, 3 signals against the trend being bullish with the cloud stacked this way. And we did have several retests of the extreme, in this case the extreme being the high. It was not an easy trade to catch, however. It was a little bit easier to pick up on the Falcon or the Raptor, or even the Hawk for that matter. Well, there's that little hiccup that I was trying to ride out. But it was a good trade all the same. Holding my breath only got me so far. All right, let's put that one on the shelf. We're probably going to see a little bit of an upswing here, a little bit of an uptick. Tony's asking, are you short the Raptor? I would have shorted the Raptor back here. That's where I shorted the Falcon. If you shorted this number one signal, the problem with this number one signal is you've got to run a relatively deep stop. It's not that it's not a valid signal, but you need to give the market a little bit of elbow room in light of this earlier decline. Now the Raptor kind of throwing us a counter trend signal as the buyers try to come back into this market, recover part of this morning's slide. This is also the time of day where we normally see a reversal if there's been a dominant trend in the day. And we have been tailing off since the open, so if they're going to rally it, they're certainly going to try to rally it about now. I didn't take the trade. Well, I suppose I still could. I'm actually a little bit gun shy. I've got a couple trades under my belt this morning and no incidents, which I'm counting myself a little bit lucky given how the market has been behaving this week. Yes, some of you may hear clucking noises. I'll be the first to admit I'm a trading chicken. We always used to joke about the bird names for the different tools here, the hawk, the falcon, the eagle. Behind the scenes, we always wanted to call one the chicken. Oh, Aspen. Aspen saying, Eric, I'm short on the Raptor #1 signal. Now we're getting a #2 signal long. I'm already in. What should I do? All right, folks. And Aspen, I realize you're new trader. So please don't feel like I'm picking on you. We all have to go through this. You need to have a trading plan. You always need to have two reasons. I suggest you have two reasons for getting into a trade. Like with the #1 signal that's printing here, you can say, okay, well, it's a cloud crossover signal. It's a high probability signal. And the market appears to be in a downtrend. We violated support. Therefore, those are my two reasons I'm going to short. Okay, that's thing #1. #2, you always, always, always need to risk an amount that you are comfortable with. This should be an amount that you could take out a pair of scissors and cut 3 $100 bills into tiny little pieces and only feel a little bit sad for doing so. If you are trading amounts that are making, hold on a second here. If you are trading amounts that are making the Schminkster pucker, then you are trading too much. You know, if you've got a third of your account in play, you cannot make a rational decision. You have to be trading quantities and values that allow you to think clearly about your trade. All right, and like I said, I'm not beating up on anybody here. We've all got to go through this. I was the same as everybody, and it's something that creeps up on you from time to time too. So what do? The market comes and produces a buy signal. What do? Well, you stay the course. You had reasons for taking your short, even with your initial stops up here. So let's say your initial stops are up here. Even with your initial stops up here, you're always looking for a reason to roll your stops, right? You're not surprised, or you shouldn't be surprised, that the market moves against you. It will do that. But even when it moves against you, you're always looking for an opportunity to adjust your stops. This is your safety net. This is your worst case scenario. But look at what happens here. The market starts to move a little bit lower. That might be a good occasion to say, yeah, all right, time to roll my stop. I'll bring my stops down. I'll cover here. If the market breaks higher, okay, I get stopped out, but my stop out is about half of what it originally was. So rather than lose $300, now I'm going to lose $150. If this was 2% of my trading capital, then this is going to be 1%. essentially it's not the end of the world if you lose 1% of your capital. And you can do this on almost any signal. You know, let's say we took this thinking it was a early hard edge bounce. All right, it's a little bit sloppy, but we'll pretend. And normally I would go in with a single for a weak looking setup like this. But let's say we play the whole amount, the whole 350. Okay, what happens? Well, the market brings us in and then promptly goes against us. Okay, fine. So they're looking for support. Now all of a sudden the buyers come back. Well, why should I still leave my stop down here? There's no reason to. I am a buyer. Buyers have shown that they're interested in buying, so I'm going to start rolling my stop up. And depending how anxious you are on the trade, you could leave it here. You could start rolling it bar for bar. All right, another little bar with a little tail on here. We're getting closer to where the sellers regain the market. Probably a good reason to roll my stops again. Oh, okay, it looks like the sellers are going to reverse the market. At this point, I may as well take the early stop out, or if the buyers recover, great, we're off and running. Nope, didn't happen. Okay, so even in this scenario, rather than lose 2% of my account, I've lost 1%. Unpleasant? Yes, it's never fun to lose money. But, you know, you need to have an action plan. If the trade, yes, it's a viable signal, and it may well work out if you leave your stops above the high of the day. And I know traders who are okay with that. I know a trader who does exactly that. He picks a position, he puts the stops above the high or low of the day, and then he goes away. He just lets the market do what the market will do. See, now Aspen says, my question was, should I bail off the short and go long, or evaluate and stay in the short only? No, don't start reversing your trades. No, you will lose money hand over fist if you start reversing on your signals all the time. No, stay the course. Have a reason for taking your, or have two reasons for taking your trade. See, the counter trend signal, I don't really have two good reasons for taking the counter trend signal. I have one reason, it's a counter trend signal. The band is quite narrow, right? Normally we see those number two signals print and have bigger follow through when the band gets very extended. Okay, I'm not going to waste my time looking for one, but you've seen it. The band gets quite broad, the market looks quite overbought. Okay, now if this fails, if this new low holds, this little one that we're working on right now, if that holds and we come back and print another number two signal, okay, well now I have two reasons to buy. I have a number two counter trend signal, and I have a higher low or a test of the extreme or a double bottom, or however you want to look at it. That will give me two reasons to buy it. But the most important thing about my little rant here is that this amount has to be a value that enables you to remain clear-headed about your trade. It is very, very difficult to trade when you are uncomfortable with this amount. Now, the nice thing about trading is that you can dial it down to just about any amount that you are comfortable. You know, if you're trading something like the E-mini S&P or bonds or something that has a huge tick value, and you're not comfortable with the amounts, look at the mini Dow, look at the NASDAQ. That will bring it down right away. If you're not comfortable with this amount in the NASDAQ, look at the Qs, that's the ETF. Look at the SPDR, that's the SPY. Those are ETF derivative for the S&P. You could scale this because you're buying shares or selling shares, whatever the case may be. You could put on a trade for $3.80 if you wanted. Now, commissions are a little bit higher in the ETF market, but even so, the point is you can trade for as little as you want. Of course, there's no point in trading for $3.50 in order to only make $1 on the trade, but you can put on this trade for $100 or $150 or whatever is more palatable. There are options. And I don't mean trading options, I mean there's options to your instruments, ways that you can get in. All right, well, they're not doing much with that now. I think you're going to be okay, Aspen, though. I think well, see, the moment I say I think the sellers are going to knock the market down, it starts to uptick. It's that kind of day, though. It's really, really sideways. It's just no fun. Tony makes a comment here. He says, it's also a good idea to pay attention to the speed of the market and the bird you're watching. Not all trades are scalps. Different time frames require different levels of patience. Please don't reverse your positions nilly-willy. I'm glad some people actually complained that the programmers didn't include the reverse button on the new Trade Manager facelift. I'm glad it's not there. You can easily reverse just by double tapping your buy and sell buttons. All right, so this is now another cloud, or pardon me, a soft edge buy. This is a little bit more promising because, like I said, now we have two reasons for getting in to buy. And because it is counter trend, I'm not going to go crazy on it. You know, we're holding the support zone where we've tested the extreme. We're producing a counter trend signal. Looks like we're going to break the high of the little sideways trading range that we have going on. We have an opportunity at a second push entry. These are all things that I would be making notes of in my journal, suggesting that, yes, perhaps this would be a good buying opportunity. And even though my stop, I've initially placed it down here, I'm probably going to be very, very quick with my stop. I'm probably not going to give this trade all that much room, if I get filled. or you can just ignore the market. It is sideways. We make a little move lower, and it's almost as though the bars are practically alternating bar for bar. Make a little move lower, a little move higher, a little move lower, a little move higher. Yes, I would agree with Mark's comment here. Major consolidation at this level. This is a number 5580. You're going to want to make a little note of that. Put it on a sticky note, stick it on your computer monitor. Probably going to be an influential number come Monday. Don't be surprised if the support and resistance suite paints the median line, or maybe even one of the primary support or resistance lines at that level or near that level. Okay, well, there didn't fill my buy, so I'm going to clear that. But you can see how, even if you took this signal down here, and you've got plenty of opportunities now to bring your stops in. This is obviously a significant level of resistance. I wouldn't jam it in, one tick above the high. I would give it a couple of ticks just in case somebody decides to be a wise guy and just go one tick above the high. So you can see we've produced a couple counter trend signals, and here they go again.
Order pending.
Unfortunately, losses are a part of business, and as far as losses go, small losses are better than big losses. As if you need me to tell you that. All right, so we're flinching a little bit here. Come on, get up there. You can do it. So we're into the hard edge. Looking for just a little bit more bullish commitment. Yes, I did too. Floyd said you missed a nice move here on crude oil. Here's crude oil now on the Raptor. And crude getting busy today. Haven't seen a move like this in crude for quite some time. Rather substantial decline. Well, that's good. That means prices at the gas pumps will be going lower again. Oh, dear. Buyers made a half-hearted effort to step up here, but nothing. Where'd they go? think I'm going to cover here below the primary support, take the early tap.
Order canceled.
The trade just not having any giddy up go. So I chose to leave early. Now we're getting a hard edge sell signal. So we'll see whether the seller's in fact trying to recover the market. You know what, folks? They're just a little too whippy for me right now. We've got ourselves a very dead market, very sideways. I think we're going to button up the room here. There's not too much going on right now. You can see here the hawk paints the picture most clearly. Just very, very congested, very, very sideways. Not a lot of fun to trade. If you're going to trade this kind of stuff, you really need to be prepared to place a larger stop and just kind of let it ride. And I'm not in a mood to do that right now. All right, so we're going to close up the shop for the week, and I will see you on Monday. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.